Today is a very auspicious day, Moksada Ekadashi, and appearance day of Bhagavad Gita, and also disappearance day of one dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Kusum Sraman Gosvami Maharaj. So I will read about him. Our Gurudev also mentioned him as his Shiksha Guru, because when our Gurudev came to the mat, that time our Parangurudev was staying in Chaitanya Mat together with Srila Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj. At that time Srila Bhakti Kusum Sraman Maharaj was also there. So our Gurudev was secretary of Srila Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj, and also he was working in publication department together with Srila Bhakti Kusum Sraman Gosvami Maharaj. So Gurudev told, I got much knowledge from him, so he's my Shiksha Guru. And also in relation to that calendar making, he was doing that, so Gurudev understood how to calculate for Ekadashis and why some are having different calculations, because they are using that modern type of calculation, not PM Bhakti, but Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ordered that it should be done according to PM Bhakti and according to local timing, so that may differ. So Srila Bhakti Kusum Sraman Gosvami Maharaj, this is from the article by Srila Bhakti Vibhut Bodayan Maharaj. An embodiment of tolerance, patience, and equanimity appeared in Khara village, Dhaka district, Bangladesh, on Tuesday, 23rd October 1900 at 10:03 a.m. on the day of Giriraj Govardhan's Annakut Mahotsav in the house of Durga Charan Das and Jogamaya Devi, father and mother. The auspicious child was named Kanu. Since his childhood, Kanu was very studious, both materially and spiritually. With the inspiration of his parents, he used to read the Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Once, Jogamaya Devi expressed how she was so fortunate to have such a pious child as her own son. After hearing that, Kanu prayed to his mother to bestow blessings upon him to become a pure Vaishnava in the near future. In 1927, Kanu completed his medical degree with distinction. He also got distinction in Sanskrit and mathematics. During his medical studies, Kanu was introduced to the Gauriya Math by Srila Bhakti Vilas Parvat Gosai Maharaj and used to visit the Madhva Gauriya Math situated in Dhaka. This is in Bangladesh, capital city. There Srila Prabhupada was preaching. At that time it was still India. Many of Mahaprabhu's personal associates, they appeared in Bangladesh. Gadadhar Pandit, Haridas Thakur, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and so many others you will find. Also Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj, our Parangurudev, and many others, they all appeared in Bangladesh. That time was India, East Bengal. Mahaprabhu also went there to preach and rescued many. So, but after that political thing, then many came. Even Srila Gopananda Pon Gosai Maharaj, he's also from Bangladesh. He told me he came as a refugee from Bangladesh to India. So this Dhaka Gauriya Math was very prominent there in Dhaka, this Madhva Gauriya Math, and Prabhupada went there every year. So preaching was very strong there. In that same year, this mat is still there. Nowadays it is under the management of original Chaitanya mat, means Srila Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj's mat. So in that same year, his parents fixed his marriage. On the day of the marriage, Kanu secretly escaped from home. Eventually, he went to Bagbazar Gauriya Math, situated in Kolkata, and desired to take initiation from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada gave him Harinam and Diksha and the name Krishna Kanti Das Brahmachari. Thereafter, Srila Prabhupada ordered him to go to Mayapur and offer his medical services to the devotees, because he was doctor. Srila Prabhupada gave Krishna Kanti Brahmachari a room beside his own Bhajan Kutir. It is still there. Now his Samadhi Mandir is there. If you go to Mayapur, you will see his Samadhi. By nature, he never hurt anyone with his words, even when people spoke harsh words to him. He would never put down his chanting beats and was constantly chanting the holy names with a smiling face. This was noticed by anyone who came into his association. Srila Prabhupada appointed Krishna Kanti Brahmachari as the publishing manager of the Doinik Nadia Prakash and to assist Pranavananda Das Brahmachari, later known as Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur, who was the editor. This is Daily Spiritual magazine started by Prabhupada. Krishna Kanti Prabhu also used to travel with Srila Prabhupada and serve in writing correspondence. Thus, he continued his service in expanding the mission of Lord Chaitanya under Srila Prabhupada. Since the time of Srila Prabhupada's departure on 1st January 1937, Srila Sraman Gosai Maharaj was fully dedicated to serving Srila Prabhupada's mission under the guidance of Srila Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Gosai Maharaj, who was the Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Math, Mayapur and its branches. According to the desire of Srila Tirtha Gosai Maharaj, on the day of Gaur Purnima on 14th March 1949, Krishna Kanti Brahmachari accepted the renounced order sannyas from him at Chaitanya Math and received the name Srila Bhakti Kusum Sraman Gosvami Maharaj. In 1976, Srila Tirtha Gosai Maharaj physically disappeared. According to the united desire of all his god brothers and various disciples of Srila Tirtha Gosai Maharaj, Srila Sraman Gosai Maharaj was made the Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Math, Mayapur and its various branches. Srila Sraman Gosai Maharaj's simplicity, patience and equanimity attracted many people from around the world, such as from Singapore, Australia, and different parts of India to take shelter of him in chanting the holy names. In 1983, one of Srila Sraman Gosai Maharaj's disciples, who was an Australian native, Gaur Das Prabhu, served as his personal servant. During his period as Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Math, Srila Sraman Gosai Maharaj published various books such as Srila Prabhupada's biography, Prema Samput, this is I think from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Upadesh Ratnamala, Harinam Mahamantra Artha, and so on. Once Srila Sraman Gosai Maharaj told one of his Bengali disciples to sweep the temple floor as it was very dirty. The devotee denied his order and replied saying, "I am a graduate and I am academically qualified. Did I join the temple to sweep the floor?" Srila Sraman Gosai Maharaj was just smiling and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra on his beads. After 20 years, a devotee found that same brahmachari lamenting while sweeping the floor of the Howrah railway station in West Bengal. So this same brahmachari who did not want to sweep the floor in mud, that would be transcendental service of Krishna, but he did not understand. So somehow by karma or by the will of Krishna, he got into such situation that for surviving, he had to sweep the floor of Howrah railway station. That is not easy job. If someone was there in Howrah railway station, you will find there are so many people, so many trains, a very big station, and so many things. So it is all the time dirty. You cannot, it's not so easy job. This incident teaches us that if we ignore a pure devotee's desire, then the Lord forces us into a worse condition. At the age of 86, on 11 December 1986, the day of Moksada Ekadashi, Gita Jayanti, when everyone was reading the Bhagavad Gita, which represents complete self-surrender, and which are the direct words of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Srila Sraman Gosvami Maharaj physically passed away with a smiling face, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra at Chaitanya Mat, Mayapur. His samadhi is located in his Bhajan Kutir, adjacent to Srila Prabhupada's Bhajan Kutir at Adimat, Sri Chaitanya Mat. Srila Sraman Gosvami Maharaj's entire life teaches us that in this age of hypocrisy and quarrel, we need to keep patience in order to continue our spiritual practice in every aspect. So I heard about him from our Gurudev, and I visited many times his Bhajan Kutir, which is now also his Samadhi Mandir. If you go Chaitanya Mat, then Guru Gaurango Gandharvika Giridhari, then opposite you will find Samadhi of Srila Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Gosai Maharaj in front, and on one side you will find Bhajan Kutir of Prabhupada Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. This is the place where he was chanting 3 lakhs Harinam daily and eating from the ground with great austerity for 6 years. Some say 10 years, some say 6 years, great austerity before preaching. Then he got that darshan of Mahaprabhu and all Panchatattva, all Guru Parampara too, and they ordered him to preach. That was in Jogapit it happened, but Bhajan he was doing here. So on the other side of this Bhajan Kutir, you will find Bhajan Kutir of Srila Bhakti Kusum Sraman Gosvami Maharaj. His Samadhi is there now. Also his deity is there. So I am bowing down to Srila Maharaj and praying for his causeless mercy. They are not ordinary persons, disciples of Prabhupada, pure devotees. Today also is Ekadashi, so according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to give up all sinful activities, all enjoyments, and with all good qualities, means with devotion, we should remain near Krishna. That is possible only through service. The easiest and most available way for us is to chant Krishna's name together with devotees. Then we can remain near Krishna through service. Should do some more on Ekadashi as much as possible, because we will get 1,000,000 times more benefit in increasing our devotion and in the realization of Krishna and in detachment from non-eternal things, and Krishna will be more pleased if you serve on Ekadashi day. Today also is appearance day of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. You know, in Mahabharata there are Kauravas and Pandavas. Pandavas are righteous and devotees of Krishna, but Kauravas, they are materialistic. And Duryodhana is also, he has many good qualities, but he is not a devotee of Krishna and also envious and these things. So Pandavas, they were cheated by them and they were patient and everything. And because their father was blind, so you know that background, because it is important to know also, because some people not understanding, they think Krishna is encouraging violence in Gita, because he is encouraging Arjuna to kill people. So he's encouraging violence, but they don't know the background. What is the point? So here you will find in Mahabharata, that is a Vedic scripture written by Srila Vyasadeva in order, means for the less intelligent, because not all are able to understand the four Vedas and Upanishads and like this, but the same purpose can be had by reading Mahabharata by ordinary people, Shudras and all women or anyone who is not allowed to study the Vedas, all will get the same message in Mahabharata. So he wrote it. So Dhritarashtra, no, yes. Dhritarashtra and Pandu were brothers born in the Kuru dynasty, descending from King Bharat, a former ruler of the earth, from whom the name Mahabharata derives. Because Dhritarashtra, the elder brother, was born blind, the throne that otherwise would have been his was passed down to the younger brother, Pandu. When Pandu died at an early age, his 5 children, Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev, came under the care of Dhritarashtra, who in effect became for the time being the king. Thus the sons of Dhritarashtra and those of Pandu grew up in the same royal household. Both were trained in the military arts by the expert Drona and counseled by the revered grandfather of the clan, Bhishma. Yet the sons of Dhritarashtra, especially the eldest, Duryodhana, hated and envied the Pandavas. And the blind and weak-minded Dhritarashtra wanted his own sons, not those of Pandu, to inherit the kingdom. Thus Duryodhana, with Dhritarashtra's consent, plotted to kill the young sons of Pandu, and it was only by the careful protection of their uncle Vidur and their cousin Lord Krishna that the Pandavas escaped the many attempts against their lives. Now, Lord Krishna was not an ordinary man, but the Supreme Godhead himself, who had descended to earth and was playing the role of a prince in a contemporary dynasty. In this role, he was also the nephew of Pandu's wife Kunti, or Pritha, the mother of the Pandavas. So, both as a relative and as the eternal upholder of religion, Krishna favored the righteous sons of Pandu and protected them. Ultimately, however, the clever Duryodhana challenged the Pandavas to a gambling match. In the course of that fateful tournament, Duryodhana and his brothers took possession of Draupadi, the chaste and devoted wife of the Pandavas, and insultingly tried to strip her naked before the entire assembly of princes and kings. Krishna's divine intervention saved her, but the gambling, which was rigged, cheated the Pandavas of their kingdom and forced them into 13 years of exile. You know, Draupadi was calling Krishna, but at the beginning not taking shelter. When she took absolute shelter, then Krishna immediately appeared there in the form of unlimited sari. They were pulling, but there was no end to that sari. That is, Krishna made like that. So he rescued her. So this teaching is there, that we have to call Krishna, taking shelter of him, not deceitfully, chanting his name and thinking others. And that is why also gambling is prohibited, because ultimately you will be cheated. Upon returning from exile, the Pandavas rightfully requested their kingdom from Duryodhana, who bluntly refused to yield it. Duty-bound as princes to serve in public administration means they were kshatriyas. What they will do? So the 5 Pandavas reduced their request to a mere 5 villages, but so that each one could administer, manage one village, because they're kshatriyas. What they will do otherwise? They cannot do other job. That is their nature. So they said, okay, at least 5 villages you give us. But Duryodhana arrogantly replied that he wouldn't spare them enough land into which to drive a pin. One pin you put in the ground, that much land I'm not giving you. That is nature of conditioned souls. We always want to have property for ourselves. We don't want to give. Throughout all this, the Pandavas had been consistently tolerant and forbearing. But now war seemed inevitable. Nonetheless, as the princes of the world divided, some siding with the sons of Dhritarashtra, others with the Pandavas, Krishna himself took the role of messenger for the sons of Pandu and went to the court of Dhritarashtra to plead for peace. When his pleas were refuted, war was now certain. The Pandavas, men of the highest moral stature, recognized Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas the impious sons of Dhritarashtra did not. Yet, Krishna offered to enter the war according to the desire of the antagonists. As God, he would not personally fight, but whoever so desired might avail himself of Krishna's army, and the other side could have Krishna himself as an advisor and helper. Duryodhana, the political genius, snatched at Krishna's armed forces, while the Pandavas were equally eager to have Krishna himself. In this way, Krishna became the charioteer of Arjuna, taking it upon himself to drive the fabled bowman's chariot. This brings us to the point at which Bhagavad Gita begins, with the 2 armies arrayed, ready for combat, and Dhritarashtra anxiously inquiring of his secret Sanjay, what did they do? It is in past tense. What did they do? Because Sanjay, he got blessing of Vyasadeva that he could observe what is going on in the battlefield and tell to Dhritarashtra. But the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna happened before he was telling to Dhritarashtra, some days after. Because Dhritarashtra was doubtful Pandavas are very righteous. They don't want to fight. But my sons, maybe due to the influence of Kurukshetra, which is Dharma Kshetra, they might also become like peaceful, and there may be some treaty agreement. So he was worried about that he wanted, no, they should fight and they should conquer all the Pandavas. This was his desire. So with this suspicion, he asked, what did they do? Because of this Dharma Kshetra, that is Bishwana Chakravarti Thakur explained. So outwardly we see the Kshatriyas, their duty is to protect the citizens from sinful and oppressive and from demons like this. That is their duty. Then society and this world can go on nicely. So outwardly it seems that Krishna was encouraging Arjuna to do his Kshatriya duty, because it was inevitable. They were rightful claimants of that kingdom, but Duryodhana and others, they were not giving. Even they reduced to 5 villages. Still they did not give. So it was totally unrighteous. So in this case, war was righteous. It was for good cause, for the benefit of all. That is why Krishna also, he went there to negotiate, to try to bring to peace, but they did not allow us. Then Krishna also approved, yes, the fight should be there. I will not fight, but you can choose to take my army or me. So Arjuna took, and outwardly we see when Arjuna saw his all relatives on the other side, and his guru Dronacharya, and his grandfather who raised them, Bhishma Pitamaha. So he became overwhelmed with emotions. Although Arjuna is eternal associate of Krishna, he is never in Maya. But here it was by Krishna's desire, so that he could give this teaching to us through him. So Arjuna was bewildered, and he did not want to fight against them due to attachment, material weakness of heart. He did not want to fight, and he gave many reasons why it is not good to fight. But Krishna did not approve of that. He said, no, from where this weakness of heart came into you, this is not befitting you. And also here in the battlefield, and if you will not fight, then what you will do, how you will survive? Then Arjuna said, I will beg. Then Krishna said, no, you cannot beg. That is not for you. So Krishna did not approve, and he said, if you will not fight, then people will say you are a coward, and that is worse than death for Kshatriya. Kshatriya is having that valor, pride, all this, dignity. So if they will criticize you, you are a coward, that is worse than that. So you have to fight. If you will win, you will get this. If you will lose, you will get heaven. It is your duty. So Krishna did not approve. Then Arjuna played the pastime of being completely surrendered to Krishna. He said, I don't know what is good for me or what is best for me. I am bewildered. I don't know. So when we come to this point that I don't know and I cannot do, then we are ready to take help. Before that, it is not possible. And before that, we also cannot get the help, because we are not in need. But Arjuna really surrendered to Krishna unconditionally, and then Krishna spoke. Our Gurudev told that Guru and Vaishnava, they have no impetus to speak to someone who is not actually surrendered. It is no use. When someone will surrender, then they will give the solution. They will give guidance. But without surrender, it is not possible. So then Krishna first told him about the difference between body and the soul. And that you cannot think that soul can be slain or that soul can kill. So first this you have to know. Because we think killing, then everything is finished and like this. No, it is not like that. So first teaching of Gita is this, the difference between body and soul. You know, you have read many times, just I'm remembering. And Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to follow his dharma, means his duty as a kshatriya. And then he's explaining all different stages of following Vedas. First, like you have to accept your duty according to your varna, ashram, and dharma. Then, that is karma you have to do. Then, nishkama karma. You have to do this duty, but without being attached or desirous of enjoying the results. That you have to offer to Supreme Lord. That is nishkama karma yoga. Then, when you do nishkama karma yoga, then you will purify your heart by that, and Gyan will appear in your heart. Means difference between matter and spirit, eternal. And also Krishna then spoke about Dhyan yoga, that is Ashtanga yoga, by doing asanas and meditation like this, and realizing Paramatma. And then Krishna also spoke about bhakti. And finally, he gave that, as Srila Sridhar Maharaj told, revolutionary method. One is constitutional, that is gradual, and one is revolutionary. You can immediately take by the grace of Krishna or his pure devotee. So there are also different explanations given by different acharyas in different ways. All are possible. Like Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Sai Maharaj, he explained every verse of Gita as referring to Bhakti Yoga, how devotee will live according to that verse. This same explanation was given by Advaita Acharya in Mayapur, in that his Sanskrit, that school. Every verse of Gita he would explain as it is referring to Bhakti Yoga. But some verses he could not understand. Then Krishna, he would start to fast, and Krishna would appear in his dream and told him, in this way you can explain. So it is proved that Krishna is also approving such explanation. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he blessed Advaita Acharya in Srivas Angan, that time Mahaprabhu reminded him, you remember? Whenever you could not understand any verse of Gita in relation to Bhakti, then I appeared in your dream because you were fasting. And I told you, do you remember? I told you all verses till now except one. Today I'm telling you that one. So then Mahaprabhu spoke that verse and he told the meaning to Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya fainted in ecstasy, knowing this is same Krishna here as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, same Krishna who appeared in my dream, same Krishna who is speaking Bhagavad Gita on Kurukshetra. So he fainted. Then another way is like Bishnu Chakur Thakur explained, as a gradual procedure, as I told now, karma, nishkama karma, then Gyan, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti. And our Gurudev explained that those who are eligible for karma, they are attracted by karma. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna is giving much importance on karma. You cannot remain even without one moment without karma. Even you cannot maintain your body, so you have to do karma, Arjuna. There is no way out. But ultimately, Krishna says you have to do karma for jagya, for sacrifice. And one name of Jaga is Vishnu. So to do work for Vishnu is bhakti. So Krishna encouraging karma ultimately takes to bhakti. And then he praised the Gyan. It is very pure. Nothing is so pure as Gyan. It will destroy all reactions to fruitive works. So you do Gyan. But ultimately, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanamam Am Prapadate Vasudevan Saramiti Samhatma Sudurva. After many births, Gyanis, they will surrender unto me, knowing that I am everything. So again, he's taking to bhakti. And the yogis, you have to become yogi, Arjuna. It is superior to all other, tapasvi, karmi, jnani, all. So become yogi. Then, at the end, he says, but of all yogis, one who worships me with faith, Shraddhanvita, where he will worship me with faith, that is devotee, that is the best. So every time Krishna is bringing all to Bhakti Yoga, and at the end also he's telling Arjuna, now you hear me. Although Arjuna was hearing all the time, but Krishna wanted to emphasize this, even if until now you were not so mindful, that will not be so much harm. Don't worry. But now you hear me. What I want to tell you now, the secret of all secrets, now you hear me. Don't miss. And he also told him, Arjuna, if you will not follow my order, that does not mean you will not fight. Your nature will force you to fight, but result will be different. You will be in bondage. But if you follow my advice, then you will do yourself eternal welfare and all others. So you hear me. Now, you become my devotee. Man mana bhava, you think of me. Mad bhakto, become my devotee. Man mana bhava, mad bhakto, mad jaji, mam namaskuru. You worship me and you take absolute shelter of me. I will rescue you, you will come to me because you are very dear to me. Then Arjuna was still thinking inside. Krishna is saying, I should worship him exclusively. If I will worship him exclusively, then I will not do my duties to demigods, to parents, to other living entities. I am indebted to them, they help me. In Shastra it is there. We got help from parents. We cannot raise ourselves without parents. We get help from other people. We get help from demigods, from previous rishis. All we are indebted, so we have some duties to them. So Arjuna was thinking, if I will serve you exclusively, then I will not do my duties, I will commit sin, I will be indebted. Then Krishna said, Sarva Dharmam Parityaja, Mam Ekam Sharanam Praja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Mashucha. You give up all your duties. You just follow my order. You surrender to me. I will rescue you from all sins. Don't worry. This is the ultimate, means you have to follow the order of Krishna, complete surrender. But this is also not complete surrender, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to Raya Ramananda. This is also external, if we understand it in ordinary way. Of course, Acharyas, they have explained how this verse can also mean full surrender. But in Raya Ramananda Sambat, Mahaprabhu said, Eho Bhajyo Age Kohor. This is also external. So, Srila Prabhupada and our Gurudev, they explained, Arjuna was having this doubt, but that is not good. If one would have proper knowledge of Sambandha Gyan, that all jivas, we are eternal servants of Krishna. By serving him, we serve all. There is nothing outside of Krishna. So if I think if I will serve Krishna, something will be outside, then that is wrong conception. So Krishna had to give him guarantee to remove that doubt. No, I will rescue. So means there is not, this Sambandha Gyan is not clear. But if you go to understand this verse in the light of Srimad Bhagavatam, then you can also explain in the matter of pure devotion. As Vyasadeva himself, author, said, you can understand Vedanta Sutra, Gayatri Mantra, and Mahabharata, within it Gita, in the light of Bhagavatam. There the real meaning is there. So this verse. So outwardly we think Krishna is encouraging violence, but it is not so. Also we may think, because this was righteous war, we have to know the background. It was totally for good cause. Then outwardly we may understand Krishna is encouraging him to do his kshatriya duty. That is also not what Krishna wanted. Krishna wanted that Arjuna should serve him as a devotee in his mission of removing the burden of demoniac kings in this world. Because you know, when they were demoniac kings, they are outwardly like well-wisher kings. They should take care of citizens. But they were oppressing, exploiting, torturing, all these things doing. So many sinful activities. So Mother Earth was very much depressed. It is going to ruin the whole world. It is going into destruction. So she was very depressed. Then she approached Brahma. You please rescue me. There's so many sins. I'm unable to bear that burden. Then Brahma, with all demigods, he went to Kir Sagar, milk ocean, and they were praying. Brahma was praying to Bhagavan, and he got that message. Yes, I know. I will come. You also have to come. You appear in Yadu family. I will come. I will remove the burden of this world. So this was also one external reason why Krishna appeared, and he used Arjuna to also assist in this mission. Krishna is saying, Paritrana sadhunam vinashacha dushkritam dharma sanstapanarthaya sambhavami juge juge in Gita. I appear to protect the sadhus, to kill the demons, and to establish dharma. I appear. That is external. Krishna appears to fulfill the desire of his devotees and to attract us to his service. That is why he enacted his lila, so that we conditioned souls would be attracted to join him in his lilas. That is our ultimate welfare. Not that we will remain peaceful in this world, there will be no oppression, no this, we will nicely live in this world. That is not his purpose. Purpose is back home, back to Godhead. Our Gurudev said in relation to Shraman Maharaj, he wrote to one, his disciple, that we should always remember this teaching or this saying, back home, back to Godhead. That is the ultimate purpose. So that is, Krishna is speaking about this in Gita also. We have to understand by the commentaries of pure devotees like Bishana Chakuri Thakur, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Sai Maharaj based his commentary on Baladev Vidyabhushan's So there we will get the actual meaning of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna wants to bring us back home to back to Godhead. So he told to Arjuna to serve him in this mission of removing the burden on this earth. But Arjuna in Lila also he is, as a Pandava, they are staying in that place, Hastinapur, Panchapandava, and the Lila is going on. But in Padma Puran it is also mentioned that Arjuna, this Pandava, he also took the form of Gopi, Arjunia, and is serving Radha Krishna in Vrindavan. That is that we are following. So today is the appearance of Bhagavad Gita. I was there once in Kurukshetra. By the grace of Gurudev, I saw that place where Gita was spoken under tree, and I saw Brahma Kunda, where Brahma created this whole universe. It is in Kurukshetra, and also where Bhishma Pitama was lying on the bed of arrows, and also that Gauriya Mat established by Prabhupada, and that Kali Diti, they wanted to offer Bhadrakali, they wanted to offer Joro Bharat to Kali. He did not object because he was Paramahansa. He knows what is happening with the will of Krishna is happening. But Kali became very angry. She came out of Diti and killed all her followers. That Kali is there, Bhadrakali. You have to offer Dandavat on the right side. That is all there in Kurukshetra. Very peaceful. I felt very peaceful. Kurukshetra. So I am bowing down to Bhagavad Gita. It issued from the lotus mouth of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Is not different from him. We heard about that South Indian Brahmin. He realized Krishna just by reading Bhagavad Gita without even understanding, but with devotion, with faith in his Guru, with devotion. And Krishna himself became attracted to him as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he revealed himself. Yes, I am that Krishna. So if we worship Bhagavad Gita with devotion, then we can get the service of Krishna. So I am bowing down to Bhagavad Gita and praying causeless mercy. Tomorrow we'll hear further.